Thanks, I'm Zakka Jacob. There was widespread violence today in the state of Kerala, by and large, by PFI activists, a day after there was large-scale arrest of its leaders. Over 100 of PFI activists were rounded up yesterday in a multi-state operation by the NIA, as well as local police. But today, in response to that, from Kannur and Kozhikode in the north of Kerala to Thiruvananthapuram in the south, public transport was targeted, schools and colleges were shut, and business establishments and shops were attacked. And this is despite an explicit Kerala High Court order banning hartals and flash strikes. In fact, that order goes on to say whoever calls for the hartal without giving a 7-day advance notice period will have to pay for all the damages caused. Why should anyone resort to violence to make a political point? And why should there be any tolerance for anybody who takes the law into their own hands, no matter what their grievance may be?
Destruction, vandalism, anarchy. A day after the biggest crackdown on Popular Front of India, its members went on a rampage in Kerala and Tamil Nadu. The PFI had called a bandh to protest against the midnight raids and arrest of its key leaders by central agencies. But PFI members used their hartal call as an excuse to go on a vandalism spree. State-owned buses and auto rickshaws were pelted with stones.
Inside this bus, we can see that there are fragments of glass that is there all over. There are big stones that are inside this. So this is a condition in most of the vehicles where buses have been damaged like this.
Tires were burnt and even private vehicles were not spared.
That the hartal supporters, they took away the key and blocked the road. Now the police have gave a direct connection, and now they have started this truck. So the technique was to just to block the truck and take away the key.
PFI workers were even caught on camera hurling petrol bombs at the offices of the RSS and the BJP. In some places, PFI workers tried to forcibly shut shops that were open despite their hartal call, but locals gave it back to them. The protest turned violent. The Kerala High Court initiated suo motu cognizance against PFI leaders for calling flash hartal despite it being banned by the court earlier.
So far in all across state, more than 400 persons have been put under preventive arrest, and more than 500 persons have been arrested.
From being a threat to national security to vandalizing public property, is it time to ban the PFI once and for all?
All right, how does it justify taking the law into one's own hands, no matter what your grievance may be? Let me go across to our full panel. Joining us on Brass Tacks tonight, Sushant Sareen is Senior Fellow at the Observer Research Foundation. Yasmin Farooqi is General Secretary of the SDPI. Yashwardhan Azad, former IPS officer. Majid Haidari, Senior Journalist, joining us. And Amina Begum Ansari is a political analyst. Let me start with Sushant Sareen. So today in the state of Kerala, private and public transport was targeted. Hundreds of passengers were left stranded in railway stations as well as on roads. Schools were completely shut down and so were colleges. Business establishments and shops were targeted, were pelted with stones. The point is, who is going to pay for all this public inconvenience that's been caused because one organization and its leaders have been arrested or rounded up?
Zakka, as far as I am aware, the law is very clear that the person who causes this kind of dislocation and disruption and destruction is to pay for the damages. I think the Supreme Court has pronounced on that. And in some of the states, that is actually being implemented as well. So I think that's the simple answer to your question. But I think the larger question is that the kind of street violence we saw today throughout Kerala I think tells you a lot about the kind of street power that a radical organization like the PFI wields, and the kind of terror it can instill in the people by demonstrating its street power. So, in a manner of speaking, their actions today, not just in Kerala but in other states as well, actually validates the action which has been taken against them yesterday by their arrests and what we are hearing about the impending ban on the organization. So I think that much is very clear.
Let me ask Yasmin Farooqi, as General Secretary of the SDPI, there is an explicit 2019 Kerala High Court order which had banned flash hartals. In fact, that order says that anyone who wants to give a hartal or a flash strike has to give 7-day notice to the general public. Those 7 days will enable the citizens who are opposed to this call for hartal or strike to approach the court. And also, the court has said that anybody who does not adhere to this 7-day notice, their hartals or protests will be deemed illegal, and the person/party calling for the hartal would be liable for any damage caused to citizen and government property pursuant to the call for hartal/general strike. Majid Haidari, you want to take that?
Well, see, Zakka Saab, firstly, violence cannot be defended or supported by for law, logic, or wisdom. But then law and logic needs to be applied on how the PFI is being victimized at the moment. I'll quote 2 facts and very recent facts. A Hindu man proposes Muslim Amir Khan's daughter, and then social media and our media calls it, what a heartwarming video, what a heartwarming moment. But if a Muslim man marries a Hindu woman, it becomes love jihad. When BJP pledges for Hindu Rashtra, it's being welcomed. But when this outfit like PFI calls about what is allegedly being spoken about them, that they said about Islamic Caliphate, we take it as an act of terror. How come 2 yardsticks in one country? And then who are the agencies who are going for the crackdown on these parts
But Majid Haidari Saab, no. Can I ask you one simple question? Are you seriously telling me that in 21st century India, we should give a long rope or brook those people who are saying that we should go back to a 6th century, 7th century caliphate?
No, when we talk of Hindu Rashtra and Ram Rajya, it goes even back then the time of 6th century. It goes thousands of years ago. So either we stop it at both, we condemn both the things that no, in a secular country, in a secular constitution, in secular valued nation, we cannot have Hindu Rashtra idea or Muslim Caliphate or the Khalistan.
Okay, because I've been hearing this for a couple of days now. There is a certain equivalence that's being drawn. What about Yati Narsingh Anand? You're not going after him. What about the fellows who lynch in the name of the cow?
No, BJP lawmakers.
I'm just curious to know. I want to ask.